The FBI and U.S. Marshals are hunting one of America's most dangerous fugitives. A man who murdered his ex-girlfriend in cold blood, then led authorities on not one, but two dramatic manhunts across multiple states. He was a trained survivalist. He was armed, and he was willing to do anything to stay free. This is the true story of Michael Burham, a monster who terrorized an entire community and left 3 innocent children without their mother. Just after 4:20 in the morning on May 11, 2023, in the quiet city of Jamestown, New York, 34-year-old Kala Hodgkin is sound asleep in her modest home on William Street. Her 3 children, ages 8, 11, and 14, are sleeping upstairs, safe in their beds. Kala had been a loving mother, working hard to provide for her kids. But recently, her life had taken a terrifying turn. Just weeks earlier, she'd gone to the Jamestown Police Department with a horrifying accusation against her ex-boyfriend, Michael Burham. She told police he had raped her. Kala was so frightened that she enrolled in a special domestic violence program called Project Crossroads, designed to protect victims like her. Detectives believed her story. Charges were filed. A warrant was issued for Burham's arrest. But before they could bring him in, something unthinkable happened. In the early morning darkness, Michael Burham breaks into Kala's home. He moves silently through the house, a loaded gun in his hands. He knows exactly what he's come to do. Kala never stood a chance. Burham finds her sleeping in her bedroom and opens fire. The sound of gunshots shatters the silence. Upstairs, Kala's 3 children wake to the nightmare. The horrible realization that someone has just murdered their mother while they slept. Kala Hodgkin was shot to death in her own home. Her children were there to witness the aftermath. This is an event that's going to stay with them for the rest of their lives. You can imagine the trauma. After executing Kala, Burham doesn't flee immediately. He has one more crime to commit. He walks outside to a nearby vehicle and sets it ablaze, attempting to destroy evidence and create chaos. Then he vanishes into the night, leaving behind a grieving family and a community in shock. Jamestown Police Department responds to the William Street address within minutes. What they find is a scene of pure horror. Kala Hodgkin lies dead in her bedroom, shot multiple times. Her 3 traumatized children are huddled together, trying to process what just happened. Outside, a car burns brightly in the early morning darkness. It didn't appear to be a random act of violence. This seemed to be very personal, very calculated. Someone had come to this house with one purpose: to kill Kala Hodgkin. Investigators immediately focus on the one man who had the most to lose from Kala's testimony: Michael Burham, her ex-boyfriend and alleged rapist. Michael Burham was 34 years old at the time of the murder. He had served over 11 years in the Army Reserve, working as a water treatment specialist and utilities equipment repairer from 2008 to 2020. He'd reached the rank of sergeant, but was never deployed overseas. What the military had taught him, however, would make him one of the most dangerous fugitives law enforcement had ever encountered. He was a self-taught survivalist with military training. He knew how to live off the land. He knew how to hide. And he had prepared stockpiles of supplies in the woods, ready for exactly this kind of situation. Detectives pieced together Burham's motive quickly. This wasn't just a crime of passion. This was something far more calculated. One of the legal exceptions for first-degree murder in New York is if a person kills a witness to prevent that person from testifying about a crime. Kala had accused Burham of rape. Charges had been filed. A warrant had been issued. And Burham knew that Kala's testimony would send him to prison for a very long time. So he decided to eliminate the witness. By murdering Kala before his arrest, Burham had committed one of the most serious crimes in New York law: first-degree murder. If convicted, he would spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole. But first, they had to catch him. Within hours of the murder, police discover that Burham has fled. His truck has been spotted in Warren County, Pennsylvania, about 66 miles from Jamestown. Investigators tracked the vehicle to a rental car company in Warren, where Burham had recently returned it. But by the time police arrive, Burham has disappeared. A massive manhunt begins. Local police, Pennsylvania State Police, U.S. Marshals, and the FBI all join the search. They're hunting a trained soldier who knows how to survive in the wilderness, and won't hesitate to use violence. We knew that whoever we were looking for and whoever did this meant business. He was really trying to hurt and kill people. We're very concerned about what he is capable of doing. For days, there's no sign of Burham. Then on May 20th, authorities get a terrifying report. An elderly couple from Sheffield, Pennsylvania has gone missing, along with their car. The couple, ages 68 and 89, had been in their home when a man broke in and forced them at gunpoint to leave with him. The kidnapper's identity would soon become clear. Michael Burham. You had an innocent couple that everybody can relate to, that everybody can say, but for the grace of God, I could have been that victim or my family could have been that victim. So in that sense, everybody is scared to death that there's somebody out there with a firearm wanting to hurt innocent people. Burham forces the terrified elderly couple to drive him over 800 miles south, all the way to Charleston, South Carolina. For the couple, it must have been an absolute nightmare. Held captive by an accused murderer, driving for hours, not knowing if they'd survive. The elderly couple later described the absolute terror of someone wanted for murder pulling a gun on them. These peaceful, caring human beings aren't cut out to handle what he did. They will never completely recover. When they finally arrive in Charleston, Burham does something unexpected. He drops the couple off at a cemetery, alive and unharmed. Then he flees on foot, abandoning their vehicle. The couple immediately contacts police, and South Carolina authorities launch a search. Within days, a homeowner in the Huger area spots a suspicious man prowling in their backyard. Police respond and take Michael Burham into custody on May 24, 2023, 2 weeks after he murdered Kala Hodgkin. During the arrest, investigators make a shocking discovery. Burham had written a note to his father, which they recover from the abandoned vehicle. The note reads, "I'm not sorry for what I did, however I do feel terrible about the children." It's a chilling confession. Burham admits he's not sorry for murdering Kala, the mother of 3 children, including his own daughter. He only feels bad that the kids had to witness the aftermath. With Burham finally in custody, authorities begin the process of bringing him to justice. He's initially held in Charleston County before being extradited back to the Northeast to face charges. But Pennsylvania gets first crack at prosecuting him. The kidnapping charges carry serious weight, and Warren County District Attorney Rob Green wants to make sure Burham is locked up securely while New York investigators build their murder case. Burham is transferred to the Warren County Jail in northwestern Pennsylvania, a small facility in a rural area. He's held on $1 million bail, facing charges of kidnapping, burglary, aggravated assault, and various other crimes related to the elderly couple's abduction. Meanwhile, back in Jamestown, investigators continue gathering evidence in Kala's murder. They're collecting forensic samples, interviewing witnesses, and preparing what they hope will be an ironclad case. The community mourns Kala Hodgkin. Vigils are held. Friends and family gather to remember the 34-year-old mother who had her whole life ahead of her. She was trying to do the right thing. She went to the police. She reported the rape. She enrolled in the domestic violence program. She did everything she was supposed to do to protect herself and get justice. And she was still murdered. Kala's 3 children are left to pick up the pieces, dealing with unimaginable trauma and grief. All 3 children were home when this occurred. This is not something these kids will ever forget. This event is going to stay with them for the rest of their lives, losing their mother in such a violent, senseless way. But as the case moves forward, everyone, from investigators to Kala's family to the traumatized elderly couple from Pennsylvania, believes that justice will finally be served. Michael Burham is behind bars. The evidence against him is overwhelming. Surely, this monster will face his day in court. What no one expects is what happens next. On the evening of July 6, 2023, less than 6 weeks after Burham's capture, the Warren County Jail staff conducts their routine 11:20 p.m. head count. Michael Burham is missing from his cell. Prison officials immediately sound the alarm. A search of the facility reveals exactly how Burham managed to escape, and it's straight out of a movie. Burham had been clever. During his time in the jail's outdoor recreation yard, he'd carefully studied the facility's security weaknesses. He noticed that the exercise equipment could be stacked. He observed that the metal grate covering the rooftop had a vulnerable spot, and he'd been collecting bedsheets. That evening, Burham stacked the exercise equipment to create a makeshift ladder. He climbed on top of the equipment, pushed through the metal-grated roof, and hoisted himself onto the jail's rooftop. Then he did something that would become legendary in law enforcement circles. He tied together several bedsheets to create a rope, just like they do in the movies. He secured the rope and rappelled down the side of the building, lowering himself to the ground. And then Michael Burham, accused murderer and kidnapper, simply walked away into the darkness. He's not the person that he led everyone to believe that he is. This man is extremely dangerous. He escaped from a secure facility using bedsheets. Who does that? By the time prison staff realize what's happened, Burham has a significant head start. He's last seen wearing his jail-issued orange and white striped jumpsuit, a blue denim jacket and Croc-style shoes. But investigators know he won't stay in that outfit for long. Pennsylvania State Police immediately mobilize. They set up roadblocks. They deploy K-9 units. They bring in helicopters and drones to search the surrounding area. And they issue an urgent public warning. Michael Burham is on the loose. At this time, we have no reason to believe that Burham has left the general area. But the public needs to understand. This man is considered extremely dangerous. Do not approach him. If you see anything suspicious, call 911 immediately. Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens of the Pennsylvania State Police holds a press conference to brief the public on the escape. What he reveals is chilling. Burham is a self-taught survivalist with military experience. He has training that allows him to survive in the woods for extended periods. He's prepared for this. He could be potentially holed up in a wooded area, and he has the skills to stay hidden. The search area is massive, over 800 square miles of the Allegheny National Forest and surrounding regions. The terrain is rugged, steep, and filled with abandoned cabins, oil and gas sheds, and countless hiding places. As searchers comb the wilderness, they begin finding evidence that confirms their worst fears. They discover campsites, small stockpiles of supplies, fresh footprints, all signs that Burham is out there, watching them, staying one step ahead. We're finding items that we believe are connected to him. He's been preparing for this. He's left supplies scattered throughout these woods. This is someone who planned to survive out here for as long as it takes. Days pass. The manhunt intensifies. Reward money climbs to $22,000 for information leading to Burham's capture. Schools in Warren County cancel activities. Residents are warned to lock their doors and stay vigilant. Lieutenant Colonel Bivens addresses the media again, this time with a stark warning. We have a strong belief that he is receiving help from someone. And I caution anyone who is currently giving help or contemplating it. We will prosecute you for it. Harboring a fugitive is a serious crime. Investigators also reveal they found something troubling. A drone was seen flying in the area of the jail at the same time Burham fled. Was someone coordinating with him? Did he have accomplices on the outside? The community is terrified. A murderer is on the loose, possibly armed, definitely dangerous, and seemingly impossible to find. 9 days pass. 9 long, tension-filled days where Michael Burham evades hundreds of law enforcement officers, helicopters, drones, and K-9 units. But on the afternoon of Saturday, July 15, 2023, Burham's luck finally runs out. And his downfall comes from an unexpected source. A dog named Tucker. Ron and Cindy Eklund are enjoying a peaceful afternoon on the patio of their home in Conewango Township, about 6 miles west of the Warren County Jail. Their chocolate Labrador retriever, Tucker, is with them, relaxing in the summer heat. Suddenly, around 4 p.m., Tucker takes off running toward the creek that runs along their backyard. He's barking aggressively and won't come back when called. He wouldn't come back. Normally Tucker comes right away when we call him, so we knew something was up. We jumped on the golf cart and went to see what he was barking at. The Eklunds drive their golf cart down to the creek. There, sitting by the water, is a man with a backpack. Ron approaches him casually. "What are you doing here?" The man looks startled. "I'm camping," he says. Ron notices the man isn't carrying any fishing equipment. He's not dressed like a camper, and there's something familiar about him. Then Ron sees it, a distinctive tattoo on the man's right arm. A tiger. His heart stops. It's the same tattoo he's seen on the news for the past 9 days. It's Michael Burham. I knew it was him right away. I saw that tattoo and I said to myself, oh my God, that's the guy they're looking for. I just tried to stay calm. Ron and Cindy don't panic. They can't let Burham know they've recognized him. Cindy calmly apologizes for Tucker's barking. Sorry about the dog. Have a nice day. They turn the golf cart around and start driving back to their house, trying to appear casual. But the moment they're out of earshot, Ron tells his wife, dial 911. I've seen his pictures. That's Michael Burham. The Eklunds rush to their house and make the call. Within minutes, law enforcement converges on the area. We immediately started driving back to the house. I was terrified. This is a man who murdered someone. This is a man who kidnapped an elderly couple. And he was in our backyard. Less than 2 hours later, Pennsylvania State Police locate Michael Burham in the woods near the Eklund property. He's wet, dirty, exhausted, and still wearing his prison pants turned inside out to conceal them. He's taken into custody without incident. Michael Burham has been captured, the Pennsylvania State Police announces. Thank you to all partner agencies and the surrounding community for their assistance and support. The 9-day manhunt is over. And Tucker, the chocolate Labrador who alerted his owners to the fugitive's presence, becomes an instant hero. The Eklunds later receive the $22,000 reward. They buy Tucker a new collar, 48 tennis balls, new toys, and a ribeye steak for dinner. Tucker was protecting us. He was the real hero. You can't ask for a better best friend than that. With Burham back in custody, this time in a much more secure facility, the legal process moves forward. He faces a mountain of charges in 2 states. In Pennsylvania, he's charged with escaping from Warren County Prison, along with kidnapping the elderly couple, burglary, aggravated assault, recklessly endangering another person, terroristic threats, theft, and criminal trespass. In November 2023, Burham pleads guilty to the Pennsylvania charges. On January 5, 2024, Judge Gregory Hammond sentences him to an aggregate term of 25 years and 2 months to 50 years and 4 months in state prison. At the sentencing hearing, Judge Hammond doesn't mince words. You are a grave threat to the public. You'll do anything to anybody to maintain your freedom. Your rehabilitative needs are through the roof. The public needs protection from you. The judge describes the impact on the elderly kidnapping victims, who were re-traumatized by Burham's escape. These people experienced absolute terror. They will never completely recover from what you put them through. And your escape had a greater negative impact on the community than anything else I can think of. Everyone in the community changed the way they lived their lives because of you. But the Pennsylvania sentence is only the beginning. Back in New York, Chautauqua County District Attorney Jason Schmidt has been building the murder case. In February 2024, a grand jury issues a secret indictment against Michael Burham. He's charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and third-degree arson in connection with Kala Hodgkin's death. This is significant because first-degree murder charges are rare. Most homicides in New York result in second-degree murder charges, which carry a maximum sentence of 25 years to life. But first-degree murder, killing a witness to prevent testimony, carries life in prison without the possibility of parole. DA Schmidt extradites Burham back to Chautauqua County in July 2024. He's arraigned in Chautauqua County Court and held without bail. 2.5 years after Kala was brutally executed in her home while she and her 3 kids slept during the early morning hours, we have not stopped thinking about her and the children. We've been preparing for this trial, waiting to finally hold this monster accountable for his heinous, cowardly actions. A trial is scheduled for January 13, 2026. But just 1 week before jury selection is set to begin, Burham makes a final decision. On January 6, 2026, during a final conference with prosecutors, Michael Burham pleads guilty to first-degree murder. The trial is canceled. Burham's guilty plea brings a measure of closure to Kala's family, though nothing can truly heal their pain. Whether by trial or plea, Mr. Burham's judgment day was coming. And now we look forward to sending him off to state prison where I hope he spends the rest of his life reliving what he did, murdering an innocent young mother, destroying a local family, and traumatizing Kala's surviving children. D.A. Schmidt's statement continues with a heartbreaking detail. Our thoughts and prayers have been and remain with the children, including Mr. Burham's daughter, who was sleeping upstairs when he broke into Kala's home at about 4:20 in the morning and committed this shockingly evil crime. One of the children who lost their mother that night was Burham's own daughter. He murdered the mother of his child while that child slept upstairs, traumatizing her for life. Jamestown Police Department Lieutenant Adam McKinley speaks for the entire law enforcement community. A guilty plea for first-degree murder and avoiding putting the family through a lengthy trial is a win. Everyone involved did a thorough investigation, which led to the guilty plea. We hope Michael Burham spends the rest of his life in prison for his actions. Burham is scheduled to be sentenced on March 2, 2026. He's expected to receive an indeterminate sentence of 25 years to life in prison for the murder charge. Combined with his Pennsylvania sentences, Michael Burham will spend decades, if not the rest of his natural life, behind bars. The case of Michael Burham is a tragic reminder of the devastating impact of domestic violence. Kala Hodgkin did everything right. She went to the police. She reported the rape. She participated in a domestic violence program designed to protect her. But the system couldn't move fast enough to save her life. Any violent crime hits home. But something like this, where we have somebody who had come to the police for help, and the police were doing all that they could to help her, and in fact had followed the process. And we had somebody here that was taken from us under these circumstances. Well, that just implicates the entire community. The community understood what happened to Kala could happen to anyone. A woman seeks help. Law enforcement responds. Charges are filed. But before the accused can be arrested, he eliminates his accuser. It's a failure that haunts everyone involved. The broader question remains: how do we protect domestic violence victims when the perpetrator is still at large? How do we stop someone who's willing to commit murder to avoid prosecution? In Kala's case, the answer came too late. Her 3 children, including Burham's own daughter, now face a lifetime of trauma. They lost their mother in the most violent way imaginable. They'll carry that trauma forever. But there's also a story of heroism in this case. The elderly Pennsylvania couple who survived being kidnapped at gunpoint. Ron and Cindy Eklund, who bravely confronted Burham in their backyard and called 911. Tucker, the loyal dog who alerted his owners to danger. And the countless law enforcement officers, from Jamestown Police to Pennsylvania State Police to the FBI and U.S. Marshals, who worked tirelessly to bring this monster to justice. Michael Burham thought he could outsmart everyone. He thought his military training and survivalist skills would keep him free forever. He thought he could murder a witness and escape justice. He was wrong. Today, Michael Burham sits in prison, facing the consequences of his actions. He'll likely never see freedom again. And 3 innocent children continue to heal from the wounds he inflicted. Justice has been served. But for Kala Hodgkin's family, no amount of prison time will ever bring her back.